and they laughed at themselves so that their laughter accentuated their jiggling round bellies. They gave me a slender handcart to navigate and said, "So long, we'll see you at the end of the maze." I went down the thin alleys because I was the thinnest, but it's not hard to be the thinnest garbage man when you're a woman. My small handcart scraped its sides against brick and stucco and stone. Sometimes, too, my shoulders would scrape the walls, and I worried that over time I might erode a small elif-shaped tunnel into the alley, or worse, the alley would grind me down into a rectangle. I stopped at the small back doors and loading zones, the garbage bins always stuffed to overflowing, but really only half full because people are very bad at the economy of space. I emptied the bins into my handcart and continued on to the next little station, on and on all afternoon until I came out the other end of the Byzantine alleyways soiled and sweating. Then I waited for Mehmet and Hamid to finish their route in the truck and pick me up. They didn't make me squeeze between them in the cab. Whoever was in the passenger seat always moved over to let me sit by the rolled-down window. You can tell a lot about someone from the way their trash comes to occupy a trash bin. Take, for example, the bin I pull from this sunny corner, crooked between a barber shop and a pizza place. Every day it's full of sheets of music, not the kind printed in a book and tossed out by someone quitting the piano, but handwritten compositions, sometimes crumpled in disappointment, sometimes scribbled over with 1, 2, 3 layers of corrections. The man who lives on the second floor is a composer. That explains it. I don't know the first thing about reading music, and even less about listening to it. From the state in which I find the pages, I can tell the man is tortured by the impossibility of translating what swirls around in his soul into a symphony that would render the same swirlings in the soul of a listener, and that is enough for me to know that his music is beautiful. I told Mehmet about the composer, even showed him a few sheets of music, and Mehmet shrugged. Or else a piano teacher, or else a student, or else a lunatic. How can you know if you don't read music? He went back to arguing with Hamid over national policy. Without any reason, I promised myself I'd find something to convince Mehmet it was a beautiful composer's trash bin. But the next week I found nothing in the bin, and the week after that, nothing again. Not one sheet of music in the trash, not even so much as a single note scratched onto a napkin, or a used-up rosin block, or even a banana peel with fret marks pressed into its skin from distractedly being eaten while practicing a vibrato. No, the old man must be sick, I thought, come down with a summer cold. It was a shame. I enjoyed collecting the composer's trash, if only for the reprieve of tending to something precious, of being entrusted with the death of the beloved machinations of one's art. Trash, just trash, unadorned, unloved, scorned because it announces decay, and decay is the product of time, and time is the fear of all living things. You look for small grandeurs in my line of work. A month here and you'd be singing odes to those rare crumbless toasters. Do you think he's died? I asked Mehmet. We were in the cab of the truck, watching Hamid drag a large bin full of sardine tins across the street. Who? The old composer. Old men are in the habit of dying, he said. Somewhere a faucet was losing dribbles of water over the flagstones of the alley and in a mirror of the rivulets. The muezzin's call to prayer slid over the grooves of the sky. Anything to beat the heat had me with my uniform off and over my head. My undershirt was soiled, the cuffs of my trousers slicked by the puddles. I dragged my cart behind me to the next bin, the composer's. I lifted the lid, expecting to find nothing once more and so resign myself to my worst fears, but instead, deep in the receptacle, I spied a small instrument laid gingerly over a pile of clean newspapers, more precious than a pair of china cups in packaging. I pulled the instrument up and knew at once to save it from the trash, knew at once to do the only sin of a garbage.